Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to the H1FY25 post-earnings conference call of Baheti Recycling Industries Limited. Today on the call from the management we have with us Mr. Yash Shah, Joint Managing Director, and Mr. Manoj Shah, Chief Financial Officer. As a disclaimer, I would like to inform all of you that this call may contain forward-looking statements which may involve risk and uncertainties. Also, a reminder that this call is being recorded. I would now request the management to quickly run us through the investor presentation, showing us the business and performance highlights for the half year gone by, the growth plans and visions for the coming year, post which we will open the floor for Q&A. Over to you, the management team.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone. And thank you to participating in today's phone call to discuss the financial results for the year ended, half year ended 24-25 for the Baheti Recycling Industries Limited. With me today is Mr. Yash Shah, the Joint MD. The financial results and related presentation has been already uploaded to the National Stock Exchange for the all individual and investors. Company registered a growth of more than 24% in the revenue from operations compared to the previous half year ended 23-24, and company registered a net profit growth of 137% in compared to the previous half year ended 23-24. Let's go with the questions.
So, do you want to run any key slides from the presentation?
Manoj, it's better you run the entire presentation and then we'll go for Q&A.
Okay, so in a screen, would you like to be a run presentation on the screen, or may I explain from the self?
So you can run it from the screen, sir.
Okay.
Yes, do you want to run the presentation?
Do that. No worries.
Yeah, please do that. We have the presentation open on the screen.
Yeah. Vinayji, I'm unable to do that. Can you do this, please?
Sir, we are already sharing the presentation on the screen, sir.
Okay.
As you can just speak with that.
Okay. So this is I'm myself Yash Shah. I'm the Joint Managing Director of Baheti Recycling Industries Limited. I'm the third generation into the business. My great grandfather has started this business since 1956. We were into trading of aluminum scrap and various non-ferrous scrap. In 1994, we have established one big plant named Baheti Metal and Ferroalloys Limited for aluminum recycling and converted into aluminum diox and aluminum alloy. Aluminum diox we supply to major steel plant, and aluminum alloy we supply it to automobile and electrical components manufacturers and OEMs. So this is our journey. As I've told you, in 1956, my late grandfather has started the business of trading of various non-ferrous scrap. 1985, my father has started. My father has joined into the business, and he wanted to start something into manufacturing and not only into trading. Then he started with 5 small plants situated in Ahmedabad at 5 different locations. In 1994, as I've told you, under the name of Baheti Metal and Ferroalloys Limited, we have shifted entire 5 plants and we have converted that 5 small plants into one big plant. In 2008, my elder brother, who is the managing director of the business, has joined the business. In 2016, after completion of my MBA from SP Jain, I have joined the business. In 2018, earlier we were into manufacturing of ferroalloys and uh, various kind of ferroalloys, silicomanganese, low carbon, medium carbon, and after that, our focus, because of the scarcity of the raw material and because of the off-grade raw material in ferroalloys, we have shifted our entire focus from ferroalloys to only aluminum alloy and aluminum diox. We have listed ourselves in the year 2022 in the month of December, and by going forward in 24 we have introduced ourselves, and after the listing we have introduced ourselves to the big players like Ashley All Teams, Minda, Thai Casting Limited. We have recently developed a new uh, uh, buyer who is the main die caster for Bosch. This is our entire team. My father, elder brother, myself, our CFO, our CEO, and various people who are the strong pillars of Baheti family. This is our major product: aluminum notch bar, aluminum shots, aluminum cubes, aluminum ingot. This goes to steel plant, various wire rods plant, and this first 4 product are only certain to steel industry. And this aluminum alloy ingot, it looks like one product, but it has 100 types of different types of alloys, which we manufacture and we differently supply to different buyers like Minda Corporation, who is into automobile industry, Shriram Piston, Usha Martin Fans, Crompton and Graves, Ashley All Teams, and various kind of OEMs and OEMs tier 1 die casters. This is the annual highlights, which is self-explanatory. What how much land size we have, the employee strength, the capacity, the current utilization after the addition of capacity, and different type of furnaces. These are our major clientele which we are supplying it to. We have exported it to, these are our global presence where we have exported our material. I will like Mr. Manoj to highlight on this.
We have already uploaded the half-yearly financials, and key highlights are already uploaded with our PPT, in which the net sales is grown by 24.4%, which is compared to higher 24.4%. EBITDA margin is increased by 114.1 percentage, and PAT margin is increased by the 137.7%. EBITDA margin is also increased by 269 BPS, and PAT is increased by the 130 BPS. And EPS is almost achieved compared to the next year, whole financial year, which is the 6.8. Compared to the half yearly, we registered a EPS of 6.8, which is near around the full year's EPS of the previous year. Company is registered a financially good numbers in this current half year, and
This
looking
is
forward.
Yeah.
And looking forward to go ahead with the good potentials of the next half year. And all the breakups is self-explanatory, which is uploaded in the PPT in the National Stock Exchange. So, any questions or any questions, or if you any investor want to be asked any questions, Then please.
Shall we open the floor for Q&A, Yash?
We'll run the entire PPT. We'll run the entire
Okay.
PPT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yash, can you explain this part, please?
Okay. So this is the revenue breakup and actual production with compared to what we what are sales into domestic market and into export market with actual production in metric ton, with the product wise revenue, what percentage of aluminum diox revenue is being generated from aluminum diox and what percentage of revenue we generated from aluminum alloy. As you'll see, the revenue or the revenue percentage in the graph on the top right hand side, you will see that there is an increment in aluminum alloy revenue percentage, because as I have told you that in 2018 we have shifted our focus from aluminum ferroalloys to aluminum alloy, and this aluminum alloy is the players, the buyers of aluminum alloy are the big companies which usually take time to get registered into. That is why it is on a steady growth, and we expect this growth to be for the next 5 years in the same line. This is the compounded annual growth rate. This all highlighted into the sales of aluminum alloy, which have been increased. This is self-explanatory. Balance sheet is also okay. So this zinc alloy, our major focus is on zinc alloy and aluminum billets for solar power manufacturers. Zinc alloy, we have a good advantage to manufacture zinc alloy because the buyer for aluminum alloy, the buyer for zinc alloy would be the same as of buyer of aluminum alloy. So we are registered everywhere in the major OEMs or the major die casters of OEMs. We are registered over there, so we can have that advantage of manufacturing of zinc alloy and sell it to our existing client, which will increase our revenue. And same, I'll not disclose much on aluminum billets part because it is under or it is ongoing, but this is only and only for solar power manufacturers. As you have seen that we have entered into new geography of South Indian market. We have a closely talk with Hungary die caster, which is a very big one, die casters, and even in Turkey, Germany, UK. And our target, as I have told you, our target volume compound annual growth would be around 15 to 20% for the next coming 5 years and in the existing year also. This is a industry aluminum overview which we have compiled into, and this is the overview of how aluminum market will increase. Everywhere aluminum use has been increased. Car manufacturers are concentrating more on making bodies of aluminum, and everywhere even you'll see that glass, to handle glass is bit difficult, so the bottle of water also is converted into aluminum these days because of the good property of aluminum, that how many times you recycle it, it never loses its properties. So these are the major market drivers. As I've explained you where the future lies of aluminum. It is everywhere. Aluminum would be used. Aluminum is the only metal apart from precious metal gold which never lose its properties. So in this circular economy, the government is focusing more on circular economy. So the use of aluminum would be more and more, because government focus more on the recycled material rather than harming the environment because of digging of bauxite and carbon emissions, and it is playing very critical role in CO2 emission and greenhouse gases. These are our major certificates, ISOs, and one is under ongoing, which is IATF, Indian Automotive Task Force, which is the highest level of certificate one can have. And in India, very few players does have that certificate. Okay. So Vinayji, I would like that the floor should be open for Q&A.
Sure, sure, sir. Anybody who wishes to ask a question may use the option of raise hand. Alternatively, you can also drop a message on chat and we'll invite you to ask the question. Sir, until the question queue assembles, can you start by explaining the audience a bit about how your capacity enhancement program is coming in and which all industries do you think will utilize these existing capacities?
Vinayji, can
Hello.
you repeat the question, please? It
Yeah,
was
yeah. One is, can you talk about your capacity expansion program,
okay.
right? Which all capacities are coming in and how much your capacity will become from here? And which all key industries are you looking to sell these capacities into?
See, as I've told you, this automobile is very huge market. We have never entered into geography market of South India, uh, and we have entered into South Indian market. So after the expansion of our existing capacity, we are running in at around 60-65%, 60 to 65 percentage of our existing capacity. Uh, so our next year target is that we achieve this to 80-85 percentage, then we'll move towards into our another expansion. Meanwhile, we are into development of new product for solar power, so that will require another plant, not into the existing plant. So it is undergoing, and we are hopeful that in next 6 months you'll get the news for that also. And as you have seen that Tata Steel is growing, ArcelorMittal is growing. We have entered into the geography of South, which we have never supplied before. You can say 1 year. So our additional capacity will cater to the South market as well as the increase in demand from our for Deox product from major steel mills like Tata Steel Limited, ArcelorMittal Steel Limited.
Sure, sir. Anybody who wishes to ask a question may use the option of raise hand. We'll take the next question from Ayush. Ayush, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, can you tell me how do you source your raw materials to carry out efficient recycling and making it cost efficient? So, just try to understand a bit about it.
So we personally visit yards. We believe in personal visit in yard in different parts of the world, and being the one of the oldest in this industry, we know from where we can get good source of material, and by adding of what kind of material and by taking it from the different supplier, what kind of forte of different supplier they have something like uh, some scrap is forte of some different supplier and some another scrap is forte of some different supplier. So we have that bond with them, and we personally go. I was there in Europe 20 days back after Navratri and before Diwali for the sourcing of another yard, another raw material, and we have different indenting agents who looks after this process.
Okay, and can you tell me that why would company buy from you and not from some large players like NALCO or major producers or primary producers?
See, Nalco is altogether different thing. Nalco is into primary; they are not into secondary aluminum alloy because of the cost effectiveness with the same quality that Nalco provides. We produce that kind of aluminum alloy with secondary with recycled aluminum with better prices than Nalco. That's why major of these die casters or major of the car manufacturers and OEM prefer secondary alloy rather than primary alloy.
Okay, okay, got your point. So, can you tell me how is your recycling competitive on pricing terms, and how large is the recycling industry as compared to primary?
uh, Recycling industry, you can say I'm only manufacturing this. Baheti group manufactures only 3 percentage of secondary aluminum alloy manufacturing in terms of total manufacturing of secondary aluminum alloy. By we stand at 3 percentage. So we have so the growth of secondary aluminum alloy is increasing day by day because of the circular economy which government is adopting. Government is setting up a park. We are in closely talk, our association, secondary aluminum alloy association, is in closely talk with the government to set up the park for common recycling process rather than having at individual capacity. Government will provide that facility because of the circular economy, and government want to protect the environment. The carbon emission which primary people generate is we generate 25 percentage of that carbon emission what primary people generate. So we have a full capacity, full support of the government in that.
Okay, okay, got your point. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much and wish you the very best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take the next question from Suryansh. Suryansh, you can go ahead, please.
Yes, so am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
So like my question was on regarding hedging mechanism, like for if, when your commodity prices fluctuate. So like, do we hedge or like we don't hedge?
I'll Good question. I'll explain you how we cover ourselves from 3 4 different angles. One is we do pricing from our exporter on percentage basis. Say for example, if I want to buy thousand some scrap at $1,000, and today pricing of LME, I'm talking about in dollars. LME is somewhere around $2,500, so $1,000 would be 40 percentage of LME. So what I'll do is, one, I'll secure myself from the exporter that I'll buy at 40 percentage of whatever LME would be there at my option till Mundra port arrival.
Okay.
So that 1.5 month would I have covered myself, that I am feeling that this 2,500 will go down to 2,200 in this 1 month. I'll wait for that period at 2,200 and I'll book my purchase. One
Okay.
is that.
Mm-hmm.
Another is our sales price are either linked with the NALCO prices, because NALCO is a government entity and people follow NALCO prices, the benchmark. So our sales price for Deox are linked with NALCO prices, and our alloy prices are linked with either with LME or with MCX of aluminum. So cover ourselves on the sales part also, vice versa on the purchase part also.
Okay. So like we are able to hedge in
Yeah, we
that.
are. Yeah, see, deoxy is natural hedge because if Nalco would increase this, the escalation and de-escalation is linked with Nalco. If Nalco would increase the price, our selling price will increase. If Nalco, vice versa also. Why
But
I'm why I'm telling you it is natural hedged, because Nalco takes into consideration of LM into dollar factor. So whether LM increase or whether dollar increase, Nalco will increase their prices according to LME and dollar.
okay, okay, but in between, like after you the yeah, like commodity arrives at Mundra port, and in between the processing, So there must be some like fluctuation or like it's not that.
Yeah, that is the fluctuation which we'll have to carry.
Okay, so that fluctuation we carry. So
Yeah,
like how much is like
hardly for 15 days. That
okay
cycle
for
is for 15 days. So
okay
that
okay.
15 days we can carry that risk. Yeah.
Okay, and like another question was like regarding like procurement of scrap. So like how we source the scrap and when if the like the business gets bigger, so like what are the measures we are taking so that if we expand the plant or whatever we do, we are secure on the procurement of scraps.
So we have good indenting houses who indents for the exporter as well as for the buyer. So we have that good indenting houses with us who are associated partners or who are associated or who are closely held with us. So we connect to the exporter through them, and we make sure that twice in every year we visit the yard to the different yard, because that's, and we have a general international conference called Bureau of International Recycling, Institute of Scrap of Recycling International in USA. So we visit there also, so we connect with different good people through different indenting agents.
Okay, and one more question was on like carbon credits. Like government is like incentivizing the manufacturers who are in recycling basically. So like they can generate carbon credits and trade on the exchanges and generate. So are we doing that or like in future is it possible
in,
like?
as on date,
Mm-hmm.
in India, it is not been traded,
Okay.
but in coming next 4 5 years down the line, with the standard of European carbon emissions, even if we have to procure some scrap from Europe, or even if we have to sell it locally to the OEMs and die casters, will have that carbon emissions per kg. We will not be able to sell above that, and we can trade. If we are achieving below that, then we can trade on the exchanges.
Okay, that's it's from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We take the next question from Piyush. Piyush, you can go ahead.
Hello, sir. As per your presentation, you have recently expanded your capacity from 16,800 metric tons to 29,160 metric tons. By when
Yeah.
do you see yourself reaching 80 to 90% of capacity utilization?
In 80 to 85%, probably by next financial year.
Okay, and how will be your further expansion from here, and by when do you plan this expansion?
This will be decided in next coming 2 3 months, because we are busy with one more project for solar power. So we are hopeful that before expanding in next to next financial year, before expanding that, we have to expand this simultaneously before that.
And that new capacity expansion will this be a brownfield expansion, that is expanding in your existing plant, or it will
this
be
this will
greenfield
be a,
new plant setup?
this will be a new plant setup.
And what will be the cost of this expansion?
Sorry,
What will be the cost of this expansion?
around 15 CR.
And how will you fund this expansion?
That will have to decide. We have a good internal accruals we can do from that. That will decide once the project gets on board.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else who wishes to ask a question may use the option of raise hand. We'll take the next question from Smita. Smita, you can go.
Uh, can you throw some light on the industry size of recycling in your area of business? And how is this broken down between organized and unorganized players?
Sorry, can you please? I've not been able to heard the first part of your question.
Can you please throw some light on the industry size of recycling in your area of business? And how is this broken down between organized and unorganized players?
In the industry size of in terms of
So the recycling business that you are in, how
okay.
big would be the industry considering primary producers, and how would the industry be between organized and unorganized players?
Okay, got your point. So, as I've told you, that government is focusing more and more on recycling of various kinds of scrap, and they are promoting. Even government is investing a lot into secondary into recycling parks, setting up with the aluminum players. So government focusing more on recycling and recycling and recycling only and only because of carbon emissions, because government has a great pressure from the European Union also. European Union will stop exporting it to India if government is not taking serious measures on carbon emissions. That's why government is focusing more and more on secondary. As I've told you, that carbon emission of primary uh, producer of secondary producer is quite less as compared to primary producers. So recycling, as I've told you, recycling would be the next big thing in this the government frame of circular economy. Coming back to the organized and unorganized sector of this recycling industry, yes, there are many the unorganized sector. The labor is quite unorganized, the structure is quite unorganized, in terms of the the adaptability to new equipments, to new uh, machineries, uh, to new development regarding the machining, the furnaces. Yeah, but as I have told you, the big players are more quick to adapt this, because this IATF, Indian Automotive Task Force, it is just like an ISO, the combine of all the 4 5 certificates. One certificate is IATF, which is Indian Automotive Task Force. In that, you have to maintain significant details on a daily basis, and for each and every department. So if you have to work big, if you have to work with good people, with automobile manufacturers, the OEMs, the tier 1 die caster, then you have to maintain all this under IATF. So there is no point of unorganized sector while supplying it to big players.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
We'll take the next question from Harshit Poddar. Harshit, you can go ahead.
Hi Yash,
Hi.
I just had a small question. Is Baheti Recycling eligible for the PLN that the government had announced recently?
Not yet, not yet,
Not yet.
not yet, not yet.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else who wishes to ask a question may use the option of raise hand. So one question which I have received on chat is basically in the last 3 years, your average realization has moved between 220 and 235, 40 rupees per kg, right? While
Yes.
your gross profit has moved at around 24 to 25 rupees per kg,
Mhm.
but your EBITDA per ton or per kg has gone up from 6.7 to 11 rupees, which has also translated into better EBITDA margin from 3% to 4.7%. Can you
Yep.
explain this phenomena? What is leading to this EBITDA improvement?
So we during the IPO, we have invested some portion into our electrical furnaces, keeping into environment friendly in mind. So that electrical furnaces is giving better yield because of the temperature control at a certain degree. So we are getting better yield in that. Secondly, we have changed our mechanism. As I have told you, we are hedging our scrap from different we are hedging our scrap at a particular percentage rather than doing on a spot basis prices. So that is the main factor of scrap which has yield to good EBITDA margin, because earlier there was no mechanism of hedging at our exporters end, and we were not into hedging of that much. Just our deoxy sales are naturally hedged. We covered that part only. We were covering that part only. But these days, many of our exporters provide this hedging facility in terms of percentage, and we don't keep our any contract open. So till Mundra port arrival, we hedge ourselves, and our sales are naturally hedged also. So this has led to the increment in EBITDA.
We'll take the next question from Harshit Poddar. Harshit, you can go ahead.
So when I think my hand was just raised, I forgot to do it.
Okay, sure, sure. We'll go to the next question from Suryansh. Suryansh, you can go ahead.
Yes, so like my question was we do understand like what you're saying, like aluminum has a like huge good recyclability properties, and like what you're saying that consumption is huge and like it's growing. And but as a company, like I want to know like what capabilities do we have that we can like we can like grab a good opportunity in that in this sector, and like we can like grow for like many years to come, like so like in technology, what do we have, is it technology play, or like it's basically capacity play, like you will add on getting add on you'll keep getting capacity add on, and like you'll increase the revenue, or like what we are going to do.
That it again bifurcate into two three different approach which we are adopting, is that 25 percentage of the aluminum alloy procurement or the consumption caters to South India market. So we have never entered into South Indian market. Now we have entered into South Indian market, which will lead to which will help us to uh, increase our revenue. Number one. Number two, will add different products to our line only, to our existing client, to the big clients. As I've told you that we are focusing more on aluminum billets, which will be required in solar powered industries. We'll be adding zinc alloy, which will require into automobile industries, into electrical equipment manufacturing industries. Number two. Number three, the your second question was more like it is a capacity game or it is a technology based driven game.
Yeah,
Aluminum scrap, aluminum scrap, to use aluminum scrap in which furnaces and in which degree, it is the most important thing. This I'm talking about the bottom line, not on the top line. This scrap utilization in with different type of furnaces, we are having 7 to 8 different type of furnaces. I'm sure that many few people would have such kind of furnace setup, because of different kind of scrap which will be melted into different kind of furnaces. And it is not it, somewhat it may driven into capacity utilization or the volume industry, but our major focus is on the niche aluminum alloy market, which the manufacturer of that alloy is critical, which is used in critical part, and the manufacturer of such alloy is less because of the capacity utilization from our competitors. As you have told, this aluminum alloy has a huge potential in terms of capacity, so many of them are focusing on doing capacity rather than going into niche product. So we have that balance of niche product. Earlier, if you will talk about 3 years back, we were only into niche product. Now we are making way that we need to utilize our capacity of of one alloy which we have to manufacture, then we have diverted some capacity to that alloy, and for 80% we are making what we are known for it.
Okay, okay. And like, do we see like with entering into new product, like our margin expanding, or like our margin will be like this only?
Margin
Or
will be
do we have an operating leverage, like we
for
can?
zinc, it would be same. Yeah, for that billet plant for the solar industry, the margin would be better.
Okay, thanks for answering my question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take the next question from Nishant Gupta. Nishant, you can go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Sir, actually, two questions. One, who are your competitors in the listed space, if any, in the secondary recycling aluminum?
Secondary recycling aluminum, our major competitor who is listed is Arfin India Limited.
Sorry, sir. Can you repeat the name?
Arfin, ARFIN,
Okay. And
India Limited.
and are they smaller to you in scale and size, or are they like bigger than you?
Same.
Same size. Okay. So second question, sir, is it possible to throw some light around this solar product which you're developing? Is it like a niche product which is like being developed first time in India, or is it like something which is there in the overseas market which you're developing for the Indian market, sir? Any sort of, if you can
I,
throw some light. Yeah.
Sorry, but I'll like to keep it. I'll not like to disclose it as of now. Once it will happen, I'll definitely would disclose it. Please, if you can
Okay,
understand.
sir. It's okay, sir. No problem. Oh, fine,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll take one question from the chat from Mr. Prince. Considering the increase in our capacity and utilization to 80% by the next financial year, what is the sustainable EBITDA margin that you're looking at?
Minimum, this would be the minimum. I'll never compromise on. I'll never compromise on my EBITDA margin. It would be minimum to the existing level. Yeah.
The next question in the chat is from Karna Gupta. We have
Yeah.
seen a sharp jump in accounts receivables and short-term borrowings. Would request the CFO to answer the question on what is happening and when will the company have positive cash flow from operations.
It's mainly due to the expansion, borrowings, short-term borrowings for the expansion, as well as receivable is due to the introducing of a new clientele.
Okay. We'll take the next question from Karan Sharma. Karan, you can go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, I was just looking at your expense part, and I just noticed that your employee cost has reduced by about 50 to 60% YOY. So what's the reason for that?
Manoj ji?
Yes, due to the introduction of a contractual labor into the company.
Okay, so is it that the employees are laid off and the contract staff has come in, or they haven't moved to the contract staff?
Yeah, some of the moving into the contractual staffs, and we have recently introducing the new contractual labors.
Okay, so is the your contract staff cost is moved to some other expenses? Like I can see your other expenses are shot up by 115 or 125%.
Yeah, included into the head of the manufacturing expenses under the labor expenses.
Okay, so I assume it's under other expenses, right?
Manufacturing expenses.
Manufacturing
Yeah,
expenses.
so
Okay.
column is other expenses, definitely.
Acha, all right, sir. And sir, there's one more question regarding your expansion plan. So, like you have an idle land of around 5,000 square yards plus an additional land of 10,000 square yards. So total 15,000 square yards is available. So is it that the expansion will be on that idle land, or a separate land will be purchased
Not
like
on
for a
that,
bigger expansion?
not on that 5,000 land, but on that 10,000 square yard. Yes.
Okay, so your additional facility would come over there.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else who wishes to ask a question may use the option of raise hand or put it on the chat window. So since there are no further questions, would you like to give any closing comments before we end this call?
I sincerely thanks to everyone for joining this investor presentation call, and thank you for trusting us. And I make sure that your trust will never be broken, and it will be it get better day by day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Yash, and thank you to all the participants for joining on the call. This brings us to the end of today's conference call. You may all disconnect now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all of you.